Matt asked me to just say something about practice. So day 2, I think some improvements certainly. Just the guys being used to going through the schedule. Our veterans are a lot farther ahead than the young guys are, and that's to be expected. But we're really looking for tomorrow. We can get out some pads, some shoulder pads, and feel like we're playing football a little bit. We can run into each other and have a little bit of contact. Obviously, won't be going to the ground or anything like that, but I think tomorrow will be good for us. So I'm always concerned in shorts somebody's going to get hurt, because this is an aggressive sport. It's a fast sport, and guys want to go full speed even when they're in shorts. And really, we're holding back and just want to tell them to really avoid contact and avoid going completely full speed when there's other people around. But our freshmen were improved, just better. They're more comfortable just having been out there a day. And so I think over the next few days, we're really going to be able to find out a lot about them.
What's the best thing you saw today?
I really just think that the veterans, they practice really well. It's very professionally. They take their job serious. They don't treat a shorts practice like it's, they're just checking the box and getting through it. They really do take it seriously, and so I think that's encouraging for sure.
Coach, is there a general message you've had to the team starting out about how to approach training, how to approach the season, approaching all their duties at West Point? Anything that you've had a message for them this year? Just
to maximize every opportunity we have out here. Certainly with the rule changes through the NCAA, with the number of practices and the limited equipment we can wear on certain days, and it just changes our preparation. So every day and every rep becomes even that much more critical. So really trying to get those guys to focus on that.
Anything offensively that you've been stressing, management of the ball, any keys on offense you want to see the team develop this year?
Block really well, take care of the ball, and play with great effort. I mean, that's really who we are in a nutshell as an offense. We've got to be able to run the ball effectively, and to do that, we got to be the most effective run blockers in the country.
And on defense, Coach Woody, what do you see there? We just talked to Nolan Cochran. What was any keys on defense in the training camp this year?
I think just improving off of what we did a year ago. And we played good defense a year ago, but I think there's more that we can do to even be better and perform better. We're certainly going to have some challenging games this year, starting with the very first one that it's going to take our very best effort to win. So to improve, to expand the playbook a little bit, I think that'll, having had a season and a spring and now a preseason camp, I think Coach Woody will be able to expand the playbook a little bit, and hopefully that's going to help us as well.
Thank you.
Jeff, we had Nolan Cochran here. Can you just talk about his development and what kind of player he is now?
I don't know if there's a guy I'm more impressed with, just the way he performs than Nolan Cochran. It's hard to believe he's a senior already. It seems to go so fast around here. But he's grown and developed and worked himself into being a really physical, effective player for us. And that's a hard position to play. And he's going to play against some really good players this year, beginning with game one and all throughout the season. So we really need him to be dominant and be a force for us in there. And so I love his leadership. His temperament, his personality really fits the culture of this program. And I think he's a great choice for captain, and he's doing a really good job.
And getting put up for those two watch lists, Nagurski and Outland, what does that say about a player? And, is it a great honor?
Well, I mean, he's a good player. And I think all it does is recognize the fact that that he's a respected player, and whether he wins any of those awards or not that's of no matter. It's what he means to us, it means to our team, and he's a really important piece to our defense. But more than that, a very vital leader for our football program. So he's incredibly valuable to us, watch list or awards or not.
Coach, you had a year of virtual recruiting. We were at our day, and some of the coaches said it was the first time they met a couple of players. Were any surprises, players when you met them and got a chance to work with them, that they're even better than you thought?
Oh, we're excited to see him, and it is odd to not ever have met a guy, and he's coming sight unseen. He's never seen West Point. We've never seen him. What I'm so impressed with is the toughness and the perseverance of this freshman class who had never been to West Point before, and they come in and they're immersed into Beast Barracks, which isn't easy. It's a real challenge, and most of them are still here. And as it goes, we lost a couple during Beast Barracks, but that happens sometimes. But and then for these guys, the large majority of them, a great large percentage of those guys are here and going through preseason camp. We don't know enough yet. It's just hard to tell when we're in shorts and they're trying to learn the plays. And they were playing high school ball, some of them even just this past spring in their home states. Most of them graduated sometime in the last 2 or 3 months, and now they're on a college football field. So there's just so much for them to learn. It's really hard to evaluate them, and would be very unfair for me to evaluate them at this point.
Coach, I guess the fans ask us how you're approaching the quarterback situation. It looks like you've got a number of options. How do you approach that in training camp?
Try to get them all ready, and everybody can rest assured we're going to play with a quarterback this year. So we'll put one of them in the game for the first play. There might be a different one the second play, and it might be the same guy plays the whole game. I'm not sure yet. But it's nice to have some guys that have played and been in games and have experience. They're a really good group of leaders. They're well coached, and I'm excited about the depth we have in that group. I'm most conscious of just trying to do the things we can in practice to keep them healthy.
Good.
Jeff, I spoke with Newburgh's Tyler Rafferty this morning. I don't know if you can offer anything specific on him, but also as a secondary, how do you approach the freshmen here during camp? What do you do with them early on before you start making decisions on, are they in the right position, or do you want to experiment elsewhere? How do you handle the freshmen?
First with Tyler, really happy to have him in the program. He's a long, really good athlete. And obviously right over the mountain here, it's fantastic to have a local guy like that. And I hope he'll develop into being a really good player and have a great career. I think it'd be a terrific story here locally. And in terms of the freshmen, Tyler and all the rest of the guys, we're just trying to teach them. We're trying to teach them to be football players. Get them to learn our culture, what it means to be a part of this brotherhood and a part of this team, and what representing the United States Army and West Point means as a football player. But then just for them to be able to perform, teaching them the game of football, teaching them the fundamentals, trying to help them learn the schemes so that they can go and execute those fundamentals and really get an opportunity to be evaluated. It's going to be very difficult for us to get a fair evaluation, as I was saying to Ken, on the first couple of days when they really don't know what they're doing. And Tyler's a good example of that. So he was in high school just a couple of maybe not a little over a month ago. So they ended late June, and he showed up just a few days later for our day. So this is his first taste of football and in college, and so he's got a lot to learn, and so do all the rest of them.
You've done a great job, though, of getting freshmen into your lineups in recent years. What is it? Just that you one day in practice you see something and go, "Hey, let's give this kid a shot. Let's move him into this unit." How do you do that?
I don't know if I'd call that a really great job. If we were doing a really great job, we'd have all juniors and seniors starting. Probably. That means we recruited guys years before and got them coached up and got them developed. And when we have to play freshmen, it's because we don't have upperclassmen that are as talented or as effective. And sometimes there's some guys that come in that we recruit that are really talented and are able to get into the lineup. And I think as time goes along here, we got a month before we play, not quite now, but when they enter camp, it's about a month. And if a guy's got some football savvy, he can usually figure it out. We don't find out in day 1 or 2, but usually in week 1, we start to recognize some things in the freshmen. And when we do, then we try to give them a few more reps and see if they can find their way into a role on the field that might help our football team. So we're just, of all the guys we got on our team, just trying to find the guys that we think are we can position and put in a game they're gonna give us a chance to win.
Thanks, Jeff.
Hey, Coach, Charles Grievous here. Just a couple questions for you. Based on the experience coming back on both sides of the ball, especially defensively, does that allow you to be more creative, or simply just be or do the best that you can do with what you have?
Oh, we are who we are. We got the guys on our team, and I think we got some good, tough football players on our team. We got some talented guys, but a lot of people have talented players. We're not exploding with talent. We got a bunch of good, tough football players, and we got several of those guys back on defense. And Coach Woody did a great job a year ago, and I think just being able to expand off of what we did, do a little bit more, and our guys can handle it. Certainly the guys that have played. We're not so deep that there's not a drop off when we go from starters to second team, and then second team to third team. They're starters for a reason, and we feel like they give us the best chance. And there's going to be some drop off, so we really got to get those starters to improve, and then get those other guys that are coming behind in the second and third string, the freshmen, to really push those guys and create some competition at those positions to help push those guys at the top and give us confidence that those guys behind them are close enough that if a starter can't be in the game for some reason, that we can put the next guy in and there's not going to be any drop off.
Great. And my follow-up and final question, and personally speaking, I think it's safe to say that sophomore Terrell Robinson is a unique talent, both offensively and special teams. Now with 1 year under his belt, do you anticipate, again, being more creative in how you utilize him this season?
Oh, we've got to stay within the offense, but we certainly have a desire to try to get him the ball. And we were able to do that some last year, and it's hard. There's one football in the game, and we think he's a good player. We think Jacoby Buchanan and Anthony Atkins and Tyson Riley and Cade Bernard are all good players, and we think that Tyler's pretty good with the ball, and Jabari Laws, and when Christian Anderson gets loose, he does a pretty good job with it. There's a bunch of guys that we'd love to throw it to Isaiah Alston. I think he's another guy in the same class with Tyrell that's really talented. So finding ways within the offense to get the right people the ball, but staying within our personality. The way we win is controlling the ball and limiting the possessions of our opponent. That's the right way to win here. So as long as we can stay within that personality and do those things, we are certainly trying to do that. But we're very conscious of the guys that we have on our roster that have that ability with the football, and we desperately want to get it to them as often as we can.
Great, Coach. Thank you very much. And again, nice glasses.
All right, thanks.
Coach, if I could, you mentioned Jabari Laws there. He's out all last year with recovering from the injury. What do you feel his status is going into training camp?
He's doing everything right now that everybody else is doing. We're certainly going to be very cautious about putting him into situations where he's going to get hit or hit the ground or any of those things. He hasn't been tackled since the VMI game of 2019. So it's a long time. And we're not, easing into anything. We're just being cautious about what he does. When he got hurt last year, it wasn't tackled. It wasn't even a defender that hit him. It was one of the guys on the offensive unit that fell on the side of his leg. So we want to be very cautious, and we are. But he has attacked this injury in the rehab just with a great attitude and tremendous effort. And so I'm really, really proud of him. And I anticipate he's going to be ready to go for the first game. And whether he'll be the starter or not, I don't know. That's all going to shake out.
One other question. You were scheduled to go to the Peach Bowl golf outing in May with a number of top coaches around the country participating, some of your friends. Did that work out?
Yeah, that was a great experience. It was for a great cause. Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl does an incredible job with philanthropy, and I was proud to be able to be there and support that. My own personal, which the Peach Bowl allows us as well to use some of the earnings from the money that's raised through that tournament to give to a charity of my choice, and I chose Mission 22, which I'm passionate about. It is for education and awareness, for treatment, and for support of our veterans, our soldiers, our sailors, our airmen who come back, who served and put themselves between those that want to take freedom from us and the freedom we enjoy here, and have stood in the gap and struggle. And so Mission 22 got its name. 22 of our veterans are taking their lives every day. I'm happy to say that I believe that number's dropped to 21 in the last 12 months, which 0 is the only acceptable number there. But they're making progress and making headway, and I think it's a great cause. So I was able to do that and just enjoy some time with some legendary coaches and spend the day with Paul Johnson, who played actually opposite of me in the tournament. My partner was Rick Neuheisel, the legendary coach, master coach, UCLA player, and was the head coach at UCLA, Colorado, and Washington. Really fun to spend the day with him. And now, obviously, people can hear him every day on Sirius XM, but and see him on CBS. So it was a lot of fun, a great cause, and hopefully they'll ask me to come again. I'm not a very good golfer, but we had a lot of fun.
You didn't tell us what you shot, Jeff.
It doesn't matter. I had a good partner, Neuheisel. Neuheisel's a scratch golfer, so that guy. Somebody there said that Neuheisel, he could play on the senior tour. I didn't know he was even old enough to be on the senior tour. He was so young and got such a great spirit, but he was a great golfer. So it was fun.
Hey, Jeff, when I last talked to you, you mentioned that you like watching the Olympics. I know football started, but did you get to watch? What were some of your favorite things?
I've watched as much as I can. I really like all of the kind of maybe not mainstream events. The speed climbing, ping pong, skateboarding. I love team handball. That's what a great sport. I just love all those other sports that are part of the Olympics that we never think of in everyday life. We're football, basketball, baseball, hockey. Of course, we think of Olympics, and everybody watches the swimming and the gymnastics and the track. And there's so many great sports and tremendous athletes. The rowers and the kayakers, and the cyclists. It's awesome to watch that stuff. I remember watching all those events as a kid, and you had one channel to watch them on. Now you turn on your TV and they're on about 4 or 5 different channels. So literally at night I'll go home and I'll just be flipping from one to the other, watching all these events, and it's been a lot of fun.
You and me, Jeff. You and me.
Coach, you got to ask, I think the fans would all ask you, we all heard about the move that the University of Texas and the University of Oklahoma made to the Southeast Conference announcement. A lot of concerns about conference realignment. Army's obviously independent, so it really doesn't, probably it's least effective any of the major schools. But what was your thought when you heard that news in college football?
I think every school's got to position themselves where they think they're going to be the best fit. And being independent for us is our best fit. I'm glad we are. It allows us to play a national schedule and teams from all over the country and all the conferences. And I think it just really fits this institution, the history of this program. So we're positioned, I think, right where we need to be. And what everybody else does is their business. I'm just glad to be here, and we're going to do our best to play the best we can this season.